So friends, in today's intriguing story, you will see the life of a man who loves his wife very dearly. But one night while his wife is away from home, two beautiful girls knock on his door late at night. Now seeing these two stunning girls, will he be tempted and start having some fun with them? So, let's start the story where we see a man named Ivan who is enjoying some very intimate time with his wife Karin, but then his kids suddenly bring a Father's Day cake for him. This shows how much his family loves him and how happy their life used to be before everything went wrong. However, soon his wife and children leave for a trip, leaving him all alone in their big house during a rainy night, which is exactly when the real trouble begins for him with a knock on his door from two strangers. Since there was no one else around, Ivan felt pity for them and decided to give those two girls shelter in his home. However, when Ivan finally realizes that these mysterious girls have no intention of leaving his home easily, he grows angry and decides it is time to kick them out, and he even goes as far as booking a private cab for them to ensure they leave his property right away. He sternly tells them to leave the premises, but they flatly refuse to go. Even their many seductive charms and manipulative tricks don't seem to work on his loyal heart at all today. Now we see a little more time passes, and the cab driver eventually arrives outside Ivan's house. Seeing the driver outside, the girls immediately hide. Now, when Ivan opens the bathroom door to get the girls, both of them pounce on him like hungry lionesses. And this time, even Ivan cannot control himself, and he engages in a passionate romance with both girls. Meanwhile, we see the cab driver leave with his taxi after seeing that no one is coming out. Now the next morning, when Ivan wakes up and doesn't find either of the girls next to his bed, he thinks they might have left. But then Ivan starts hearing some noises coming from the kitchen. As he follows the sound there, he discovers that the girls have already left the kitchen in a total and absolute mess, destroying everything in sight. Evan gets extremely furious at this blatant disrespect and immediately tries to call the local police to report these dangerous intruders who have invaded his home. Seeing him holding the phone and dialing for help, both girls realize the situation has become serious, so they immediately prepare to leave the house at once to avoid getting caught by the authorities. They grab their things and head toward the exit, hoping to escape before any sirens can be heard approaching the neighborhood right now. Evan eventually walks them to the front door. After they are finally gone, he returns inside and starts cleaning up the chaotic mess once again by himself. That night, while working on his computer, he senses someone at the door again. As he goes to check, one of the girls strikes him from behind, knocking him unconscious. He falls to the floor immediately, unable to fight back against the sudden attack. The girls have returned with a dark plan, and Evan is now completely at their mercy as he lies there helpless, not knowing what kind of nightmare is about to unfold next. When Evan wakes up, the girls begin playing games with him again. The rule of the first game is that if Evan fails to answer their questions correctly, he'll be tortured with loud music through headphones. While they are playing this twisted game, Karen's business partner Louis suddenly arrives at the house. Seeing Louis enter, Belle immediately takes Evan away to hide him in another room, while Genesis greets Louis by pretending to be Evan's visiting cousin. However, Louis knows very well that Evan doesn't actually have a cousin like her at all, which makes him suspicious of her. He starts shouting at her, but then he suddenly hears noises coming from the other room. When he enters the room to check on the source of the noise, he finds Evan tied tightly to a wooden chair, unable to move. But then the girls suddenly attack and kill Louis as well, ending his life in an instant. After the deed is done, they work together to dispose of his lifeless body so that no one will ever find out what actually happened inside the house during this terrifying and chaotic night of violence. Now we see Evan's entire body. Now, seeing his own death before him, Ivan asks those girls about the mistake he had made and what that specific mistake really was. The mysterious girls then bluntly inform Ivan that he does not truly love his own wife and children. Instead, he is merely putting on an elaborate show and pretending to care for them. After delivering this harsh and painful truth, they both abandon Ivan, leaving him completely alone in his miserable and helpless condition. A short while later, the scene shifts, and we witness Ivan's wife finally arriving back at their family home, accompanied by her children, completely unaware of the internal turmoil and the strange encounter her husband has just experienced.